So what we need
after it cooks as long as it does, it's very, very tender. This outside part that's burned, almost burned, it's really just it's smoked. And it turns this color, and it's really kind of tough. All the fat is right on top here. You don't cut using the blade of your knife. You take the back edge of your knife and you hold onto this, and it'll peel right off.
Ooh. Come on, man. Wow. That's good stuff.
That fat is there, but it's not going to be there once it's all trimmed off. That's what makes it so tender, is all this fat that's on the top of that thing. It cooks down through the meat.
Good job. Good job. And you know, anyone who says, oh, we're going to cut off the fat and throw it away, I'm going to throw them out of here. That's the best part.
I have to tell you, like, when I do the barbecue beans later, we use this beef fat for our barbecue beans.
You do? Okay.
And what we do is we take all this stuff off, we put it in a pot and render it, cook it. Once you get a decent amount of liquid, you just spoon it out, put it in the pan, fry your onions, and then some people do red pepper or green pepper, and you fry the onions until they're translucent so you can see through them. And I just do a really simple recipe. It's just beans, canned beans. I don't do dry beans. I take pretty much any brand. I use Hanover because they're a little bit firmer, not as mushy as some other brands. Take the can, drain out all the liquid out of it because it comes in tomato sauce. Put the beans, take about an equal, well actually if you used to say four cans of beans or 2 cans of beans, take about a quarter of what you put in the beans and barbecue sauce. Add that to the beans, saute your onions, and we just do onions. I do green pepper as well. You can do it in vegetable oil, you can do beef renderings, you can do it in bacon fat. Saute them real well, mix it all together, put it in the oven and bake it for a couple hours. Comes out really nice.
Sounds pretty good.
And it's an really easy recipe.
So do you prefer the beef fat over the pork fat in your beans?
Yeah.
Do you just put like the fat part in there, or do you put the whole black part?
We put everything in there.
Really?
Do you need this pan anymore, or can we move it first, or is it on?
I was going to saute it, but it's
Okay. I'm just going to move it so they can see it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you cooked up the fat from the beef.
Thanks.
You
From the
cooked that
beef.
up, and that's what you used as your liquid to add to the.
beans.
A quarter of what the
Actually
beans were?
cook the onions in the fat.
Fat is how you saute. Saute is what you do to make things like with onions or whatever. You're gonna make them clear, I guess.
There's 2 parts to this brisket here. There's the first cut, which is this lower piece, and that's a firmer piece, and that's what most people use for sliced brisket. This up here is a grainier piece, fattier piece of meat, and most people will use that for the chopped brisket because it's a little bit moister. Mix it all together, it doesn't really matter, and this is really the best part of it here.
Hey, I got a question for you. You didn't really let it rest at all. How much, when I say, do you normally let your meat rest for a little bit of time?
Oh yeah.
Do you all know what resting is?
Yeah.
Can you resting is when you let the temperature inside the meat cool down so that the juices won't go flying out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the blood, but actually at this point it's not really the blood, it's the fat.
Yeah.
So,
We let them set out probably an hour and a half. Take them out of the pit, put them on a flat pan, and just let them sit, and then start trimming. And we trim them all, wrap them all ahead of time because we don't have time while we're serving. And this little piece here, you can separate from the bottom. You just take your fork and you stick it on the top here, and you just peel it back, and you can see the fat in between here.
well, actually, just so you know, the reason I'm mentioning that is that's a little hot that he's cutting it
It is
at.
a little
I
hot.
would let it cool down more because you see how jiggly it is? It firms up when it cools down.
And it's easier to handle.
Yeah, it's a little too jiggly for my taste. I like it.
And those two just separate nicely like that, and you can just leave as much of this on there as you like. Some people really like this burnt edge. This actually got a little bit too hard. I'm going to cut some of this off there, but leave some because that's a lot of good flavor there. And there's, in some points you have to use your knife to cut because you can't get it all. Then when you're doing this, you just take the back of your knife and you just scrape that off, and all that comes off.
See, I like more fat in my meat than you do. I like a lot of fat.
Or you can just leave it and just cut it and
Yeah.
let people do their own, dissecting it at their plate.
Are people eating leaner and leaner? Is that starting to happen? Okay. That's too bad.
That's
The
why
good
we
part's the
that's why
fat.
we added turkey to the menu.
Yeah. How many vegetarians do you get? Probably related to someone else who isn't, right?
Right.
What do you do vegetable-wise?
Well, we do. The only thing that's not vegetarian that we serve is the barbecue beans. We have corn on the cob, baked potatoes, greens,
Coleslaw.
coleslaw, potato salad, house salad, green beans, collard greens, black beans and rice, which is a really good dish.
So they can get by on that, most vegetarians?
Yeah.
That's pretty good veggie.
Yeah. And then the way we do this, we turn the whole thing back over and put this back on top. This got a lot of good moisture in it. And let's let it sit like that until you're ready to serve.
Should we let this one rest a little bit and then go maybe to the ribs for serving, or?
Cut ribs and start serving?
Yeah, because that's not ready yet. Let's let it. Hot meat's not as good as rested meat.